My sewing machine is broken. It's a 30-year-old machine and I had it for 15 of those years. Never got it serviced and it started skipping stitches a few weeks ago. So I found someone locally who repairs sewing machines at his house. So while it's been fixed, I thought I'd go through my fabric stash and plan with me what I make out of those. Quick note about how I buy fabric. I mostly buy it secondhand from charity shops, carpet sales, scrap stores. So the thing about that is when you like fabric, you end up just buying it because you might not come across it. And yes, I sometimes or a lot of times bought fabric without having much of a plan. And I don't want this to be a hoarding issue, so I have some ideas of what to make out of them. First off is this white creamy fabric, which's got a bit of stretch to it as well. And it's got this lovely like flowery pattern, like a textured flowers, and I believe it's called jacquard, but it's this really nice creamy fabric, and I'm planning to make something similar to the mirror palette dress. Again, I'm really sorry with butchering all this name. I don't really know how to say those words. But anyways, what I like about that dress is it's got this slightly wider neckline and the button detail down the front. And it's really simple, but it looks like you've made an effort. Like, it looks like a perfect spring summer sort of dress. The mirror palette version is probably a lighter cotton, and whereas this fabric is a bit more heavier and a bit more thicker. But I also only have about 2 meters of this fabric, so I probably won't be able to make the full dress. So the plan is to make a blouse inspired by that top, and if there is any leftover fabric, then make a cord set with a matching skirt. It probably look more like this, where the skirt is a bit more tighter, but if there is no skirt, it's still fine because I think a top like that is very versatile and you can probably pair it with anything. So I'm planning to use my bodice block to make a pattern out of it. The thing I'm a bit nervous about is changing the dots to princess seams, which I've never done before, and also the buttonholes. I've never made buttonholes in my life. But I think it will be a nice challenge to unlock some new skills if I get it right. So next up is bag. So I have this upholstery fabric and it's got quite a loud print, but I think that's why it would work so well as a hobo bag. I just feel like big prints and a slouchy bag just makes sense to me, and I already know what pattern I'm going to be using. It's the Jane shoulder bag by Selfmade, and I've made bags from that pattern before, and it's generally one of the bags that I reach out for most, because most of my bags are either too small and you can't really fit things you need, or too big and it looks like you're going on a trip. And I feel like this bag is the perfect medium size that is perfect for day outs. I might actually be giving this one to my mum because this color palette really reminds me of her, and I think she would really like it. Well, I hope so. So if you watched my last video, then you would know that I wanted to make some tote bags from the leftover curtain fabric from that last project. Unfortunately, I don't think there was enough in the leftover, but on carpet sale last weekend I found this much bigger, larger curtain fabric, so it works out quite well. I washed it and it's still this really dull grey colour. Like, it just looks a bit grubby even when it isn't, so I think I'll have to dye it first before I can do or make anything out of it. I also want to make more sheer lacier garments out of it, but I don't know if my skills is there yet, so I might start with the tote bag first. This one is tiny and cute. I've seen a lot of it in my feed and I really want to make one. So I have this leftover fabric, from a previous project, and it's got fringes at the edge. It was like a really small tablecloth. What isn't ideal is that there is hardly much fabric left. So my plan is to use the front bit of the bag using this fabric, and then the back of the bag with something, plainer fabric, but something closer to this color. And I don't know if it's gonna work out the way I'm imagining it in my head, but if it do, then it's gonna be so cute, because I have a Halter neck top, you can't really see well, that I made out of the fabric, and it'll be a matching set to this top. And I love matching sets, if you haven't realized. It just makes life a lot easier. So I love making going out tops, even though I don't really have events that justifies wearing them. And I think the reason why is because you can make a really simple top and it just looks elevated because of the fabric, and the fabric does all the talking. So I've got this fabric, and this one reminds me of Indian embroidery fabric. It's got this really nice design with these little tiny holes in it, and I just think it's quite pretty. And unfortunately, again, there isn't much of this fabric, so I'm thinking either a halter neck or a square neck top with thin straps. And I've used the Kerry halter neck dress pattern and from Tiana's closet, and hacked it to a top before, so I'll probably do that again, or I'll draft something simple from scratch. There's another part in my brain that tells me to make those triangle cup tops, and I think it would look really nice with the triangle cups made out of this fabric and a plain one for the rest of the top as contrast. But I also know that those tops don't really suit me, so I'll end up not wearing them. So I don't know, I think I'm still debating what to really make out of it, but I think a really nice going out top would be quite cute. If you have more ideas, let me know. Okay, so I found a tablecloth with this cute little duck prints, and it's got this really nice decorative pattern on the border, and I immediately thought of quilted jackets for my nephews. So I've got two nephews. One is an 8-year-old and the other one is only a few months old. So, but imagine a matching quilted jackets with this print. Like, how adorable would that be? But the only thing about this fabric is it's polyester. So I wasn't really sure about it at first. Like, I nearly didn't buy it, but I just felt like the ducks, like those prints, were too adorable to let go. And it'll be my first time making a quilted jacket, so if it messes up, it messes up, it's fine. I also found a vintage kids pattern at a charity shop that had a jacket and trouser with little braces. Got very excited, bought it immediately, found out that it is actually for 3 years old, which is not going to work out for the 8-year-old. But I found this tutorial in YouTube by Quite Life Farm for making quilted jackets for kids, and she has a free pattern, so I'm planning to use that instead. Okay, so that's everything, and if you're still here, let me know what your sewing plans are, and if you have any cool pattern that you are excited to use, or if you have any suggestions to what I should make from those fabrics. I'll see you next time. Bye.